In our search for extraterrestrial life on other planets, we sometimes assume that aliens are like friendly neighbors who come knocking into our doors with a gentle smile. But what if they're actually paranoid maniacs who are disgusted at the very idea of other forms of life? Since we cannot accurately predict how extraterrestrials might think and behave, what if they're a twisted embodiment of our religious ideologies here on Earth? In the sense, they could mercilessly commit genocide and destruction regardless of the concept of right or wrong. Now, by means of technology, they could do this by secretly spying on other civilizations and completely wipe them out of existence with their freakish inventions. What type of inventions are we talking about here? Consider this. Let's say you are the head of the Planetary Defense Committee and your team starts to panic on detecting some really strange signals. They tell you that hundreds of alien spaceships have entered our solar system from outer space. They look like UFOs, except for one difference. Some of these probes seem to be much smaller in size compared to the others. Then they observe something that is unbelievable. They realize that Saturn's rings have completely vanished. Minutes later, they realize that Saturn itself has vanished without a trace. Followed by that, each planet just seems to vanish one by one as if Thanos snapped again. Then your friend Ted tells you something that absolutely devastates you. He tells you that those are not ordinary spaceships, but some of them are Berserker probes. The existence of Berserker probes is the darkest possible explanation to the Fermi Paradox. They are probably designed by insanely advanced alien civilizations that either want to destroy other civilizations or take all their resources. Now you have less than 24 hours to choose one of two options. The first option is to try to communicate with this civilization and try to establish diplomatic relations. This obviously sounds stupid. Or is it? The second is to immediately alert world governments and fire our most powerful weapons directly at them. As the head of the committee, what will you choose? Remember that the fate of all life on Earth depends on your decision. But wait, you have a trump card to handle this situation and only you know about it. You have a friend called Ted and he is from the future. He also has a watch that can stop time itself for one whole day. So with Ted's help, he pauses your timeline. Along with Ted, you now have to immediately investigate three things. Who is sending these spaceships? Why are they sending them? And what is the type of their civilization according to the Kardashev scale? But before that, you have to know what these Berserker probes really are and a little about their shady objectives. Now, let's assume that the insane civilization is technologically ahead of us. Well, then there might be a possibility that these beings developed self-replicating robotic probes called von Neumann probes. They are named after the mathematician von Neumann here on Earth. A rather twisted or dark version of these are called Berserker probes. In addition to wandering through space, they destroy literally everything in their way. The general idea behind their design is to build a device out of materials that are readily available out in space, like on rocky planets or small moons. Once a probe finds a suitable destination, it lands and mines the material it needs to build even more devices, which in turn land on other planets and moons and builds even more, resulting in an endless loop. What is really interesting to note here is that after blowing stuff up and completing their objective, Berserker probes could possibly backstab their own kind by destroying them or by initiating self-destruction, thereby leaving no trace of their existence. Maybe this is why we are not able to detect them. And since these probes are very small, they could travel dangerously fast. Various estimates from different sources state that even if these probes travel at 1/10 of the speed of light, they might conquer the entire galaxy in just 10 million years, or anywhere between 500,000 to 10 million years. Now coming back, you look at the clock and realize that 6 hours have already passed. After thinking for a while, you make a suggestion. Instead of coming outside the solar system, what if these spaceships were somehow hiding in our solar system and spying on us the entire time? Sounds illogical, right? Well, Ted listens to this and says one word: perhaps. If you think about it, it really is a scary thought. Our solar system itself is huge and mostly unexplored, let alone the Milky Way galaxy. And such probes could be very small. There could be probes everywhere, in the craters on the moon, or lurkers in the asteroid belt and Kuiper belt. They could be watching us right now and right under our nose, waiting for us to achieve one specific technological milestone to destroy us completely. But let's be practical, this whole scenario is most likely improbable. Or could it be that an alien species invented such self-replicating robots for research and that went out of control, wiped out their creators, and have been destroying any life they encounter ever since? To make things even more crazy, what if there are more than one intelligent civilizations monitoring inferior civilizations, and the probes they send actually detect each other? Well, all hell would break loose. Both of them would be taken by surprise and they could declare war and start destroying each other. All these scenarios aren't completely ruled out in science. If you think about it, humanity is cute. We take a good look at ourselves and the sheer diversity of life on this planet, and then we look at the night sky and ask one simple question: are we alone in this universe? Or is there anyone out there just like us? This thinking has led us to the Fermi Paradox, which requires a whole other video by itself. You see, even if intelligent life other than us exists in our universe, the first life forms to achieve interstellar space travel might want to prevent others from achieving the same. They might be scared of the thought that other intelligent civilizations are evil and panic about whether they will eventually destroy them. And here we are rickrolling people for fun. So what do they do to get rid of their fear? They send out probes to outer space that act like secret undercover agents to closely monitor intelligent civilizations. So imagine what would be the case if there was actually one single advanced civilization that mercilessly destroys all other life forms in other planets the moment they detect them in the galaxy. While thinking about this, you look at your watch again and realize that you just have 6 hours left. You realize that you still don't have a satisfying answer to one fundamental question, and that is why. Why would a civilization that is invading us have such twisted motives? Well, the answer is often straightforward. We don't really know. Maybe they are psychopaths who want to have fun and just like to watch things burn. Or it could also be a case of classic misunderstanding. For instance, a von Neumann ship designed for terraforming processes, like mining a planet's surface and adjusting its atmosphere to more habitable conditions, could be interpreted by their native species as attacking their home planet. Or maybe we are making a huge mistake by always projecting these extraterrestrials in a bad light. Not all aliens might want you dead. Maybe some of them just want to get to know you over a cup of coffee and hear about your day. Other possibilities exist as well. An advanced civilization on the verge of extinction might actually send out probes to broadcast messages to warn us. These could include stories of their accomplishments, or instructions on how to avoid total obliterations of one's own species, or they could just be advertisements of their existence. If you recollect, humans have already done such cringy stuff about informing aliens about who we are. But these von Neumann probes could also be seeder ships. An advanced civilization may choose to send seeder ships to distant stars equipped with the genetic material of their own species or fertilized ova. This is called directed panspermia. Upon finding a habitable exoplanet, it would try to replicate such life forms. This could be like a last resort to save their species from being wiped off from existence. Now coming back to your spaceship, you look at your watch one last time hoping for the best. But unfortunately, your time is finally up and your civilization unpauses. Out of hundreds of different spaceships, a huge one lands on the surface. You are the first to witness the appearance of an extraterrestrial. This extraterrestrial dude comes out of his spaceship and stares into the vastness for a few minutes. Then it goes back into its spaceship and takes off. So what happened? Luckily for you, what you saw earlier wasn't an invasion. They were just a friendly civilization in our neighboring galaxy, gathering resources on lifeless planets. This explains what they did to planets like Saturn and Jupiter, but not Earth. Because as we all know, Earth has monkeys, so definitely not lifeless. You thank Ted for all his help and he gets ready to go back into his future timeline. But wait, the story is not over yet. Let us come back to our present. Now some of you might be thinking, there is no way that any of this is going to happen in real life, right? Are there really self-replicating probes out there just wandering in space and destroying civilizations? The answer goes something like this. Probably not, but we can't say for sure. Let me explain. Armies of robots that have become so dominating and eliminated any extraterrestrials in our corner of the galaxy would have surely left some undeniable signs of their existence. If planets or stars are being wiped off within thousands of light years from Earth, we would have certainly noticed the massive energy signatures produced as a result. In addition, the sudden disappearance of planets and suns would be an indication. But this doesn't completely rule out the existence of such probes either. Confused? Let me confuse you even more. Here is an awesome Carl Sagan's quote: "The absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence." You see, if the universe is like an ocean, then we have explored just a spoonful of water. Who knows, our neighboring galaxies or galaxy clusters could be full of intelligent life getting burned and destroyed by evil probes. So what do? We have no other choice than to keep looking. Until we find some other examples of ETs and learn to recognize the signs of their biological and technological activity, we won't know how to find more like them. At present, theoretical analysis and probabilistic arguments are the best that we can do. That, and to keep on looking. After all, Fermi's paradox only needs to be solved once.